As Coach Pacoli is making her way down here, following her press conference, the student athletes from Duke University will be Lexi Brown, Rebecca Greenwell, and Faith Suggs. That is also the time that the Duke locker room will be open. As reminders, please be sure to identify yourself. Raise your hand for the microphone, identify yourself. And when addressing the student athletes, please address them by name so that we know who should be answering the questions. Again, no flash photography, no video recording of this press conference, although audio recording is acceptable. Coach, congratulations on making it here to Albany and the regional. As is customary, we'd like you to begin with an opening statement, if you would, please, and then we'll get questions from the media.
Yeah, our team is a special team. It's been an amazing ride this far. Really had a great trip to Athens, playing two very, very different teams. Belmont was a very tough team for us for a lot of reasons because they played from the outside in, and then Georgia was tough in their own right because they played more from the inside out. And then, of course, Connecticut does just a little bit of everything. So we're excited to be here. We've got a great group. I'm proud of the team in terms of handling our injuries. We've lost 3 point guards. Kyra Lambert's out, Haley Gorecki's out, and Michaela Boykin's out. And that was devastating for us, particularly Haley and Michaela, because those came at different times during the year. I also want to say that we are the only team I've ever known to have 3 graduate students in the Fuqua School of Business at Duke. That is a top 10 business school, and Bego, Lexi, and Becca have had to navigate the waters of an incredible academic experience while being pushed on the court as well. So we've had a lot of interesting challenges this year, and obviously a great challenge in playing the best team in the country by far. But we're excited and happy to be in Albany.
Thank you. Do we have questions for Coach Pacoli here in the front, on the right?
Coach Rich Capola, Fox Hartford. You talked about the teams you faced being very different. In the UConn game, St. Francis stayed true to who they are, and it was a difficult game. Quinnipiac changed their approach to control tempo, kept it competitive. So are you somewhere where you think, listen, this is who we are, but we have to tweak things a little bit? Will that be your approach?
I think, you have to. I've played Connecticut before. I think once beating them, I think I'm 1-9 or something pathetic like that. But I will say that you have to respect the talents and the ability of the team you're playing. I mean respect it properly so that you can plan properly. If you're, I would never try to run with them. They're basically a WNBA team. Sometimes I wonder if they're getting ready for that season, the way they played this year. So no, we want to, possession of basketball is incredibly important. And, to me, it's just playing basketball the way it should be played. Move the ball around, look for your best opportunity, and take it, and get after it. But certainly, I would suspect the ball would have to be in our possession longer in order to be successful against a team with so many great players that can do so many great things. So I'm a coach who believes in doing whatever it takes. So we played all man against Belmont. Every minute of that game was man because we couldn't find these shooters that were everywhere. I mean, just absolutely everywhere. And, we played matchups against Georgia for different reasons. And I believe you put your student athletes in the position to be successful regardless. I think it's important to have a program philosophy. I respect that. But you play to win. You play to win. You play to be successful. And you've got to handle that. And best I can tell, possessions are extremely critical. Live ball turnovers might be the stat of the game, of this game. Live ball turnovers and certainly rebounding. I mean, we rebounded okay in the first couple of games, but nothing to brag about. And I think that will be substantial as well.
Thank you, Coach. Other questions? Over here, Jerry.
Hi, Joanne. Jerry Longman from the New York Times. When Azare transferred, you made remarks critical of UConn about accepting transfers, and I wonder, do you still feel that way? And
I did not make those remarks. That's what the media wrote.
So you
No.
were misquoted?
No, oh, completely. 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 I guess that happens sometimes. All I'll say is I'm very proud of Azuré. What she's done is amazing. She's a very, very good player, and she's going to be a big headache for us tomorrow.
Can you talk a bit about how her game has evolved in the last couple of years?
Gosh, stronger. You know, she's just worked hard on her game. I mean, she's a very committed student athlete. What I can see from film and that type of thing is her inside game, you know, her presence on the inside, what she's doing now in terms of paint points and paint opportunities is very, very significant, not to mention her defensive presence. She's a special, special player, and she's doing a very hard thing. It's hard to be new in any program, and I think it's hard to be new in a program of such great stature.
Thank you. Additional questions for Coach McCauley? Yes, sir. Here in the front row, on the right.
Can you address what you've gotten out of Odom in the postseason? She's averaging about 10 points a game during the regular season, and she's over 20 during the NCAA tournament. Where is she showing the most growth?
Naya's, again, sophomore, developing, getting better and better by every game. I think she's beginning to understand how she can control the game at times with her shot selection, with her rebounding, with her defense. I think it's just a matter of experience. She's constantly gaining more experience, and she plays with a great deal of confidence. And I think at times she's deferred a little bit in a way that's not good to players like Lexi and Becca. And I think she's learned that that's not a good idea. That if we're going to play at the highest level, everyone's got to bring their A game, their specialty, bring what they can do. And I think that's what she's really getting into, is bringing what she can do. And I'm excited for her because she's very, very athletic and might be one of the most athletic players in the country. She would certainly, you'd have to argue she was in that category.
Thank you. Over here, Roger.
Roger Cleveland from the Waterbury Republican American newspaper. You talked about how you have a couple or 3 grad students on the team and how impressed you are with them. How about as players? How much does it help you to have a backcourt that has that much experience as well as talent?
They're terrific. You know, 5th years, you know, the thing about that's interesting is, you know, Becca is the true 5th year. You know, she's been in our program that long, and she's gotten better every single year, whether she's coming, you know, off the pass, off the bounce, her defense, her rebounding. When we're at our best, Becca is rebounding. She's a terrific rebounding guard. And so to coach her and be with her for all of the years has been phenomenal, and also just an amazing experience because of her competitive nature. You feel a little bit cheated with Lexi, you know, because as she came in, you know, you have the sit-out year, and this is really only her sophomore year relative to playing in our program. And so you feel like, you know, you get pretty excited about it. We tried to, you know, she's been amazing in terms of what she's done in such a short period of time. I'm really struck by her beating Elena Beard's single-season steal record, because we all know who Elena Beard is. And that's pretty impressive for her to be the kind of All-American who plays on both sides of the ball, like Lexi does. So yes, I've been spoiled with some tremendous backcourt mates, splish splash, whatever they call them. That's the media thing. But to me, they're just 2 really, really good players, and they work very, very hard, and they're both very competitive. I know they're going to be ultimately challenged. You know, Connecticut defense is not really talked about as much as it should be because there's so many other things to talk about. It's a terrific defense, and it's going to be a big problem, the way they go after Lexi and Becca, trapping, denying, things of that nature. So we're going to have to be very patient, and Lexi and Becca are going to have to be patient too, and allow us to work things a little bit and try not to force things, because the defense is excellent.
Additional questions? Coach, I would actually like to ask a question. As a basketball fan, how fun would it be to be at this regional, given the schools that are here and the matchups that we see?
Oh gosh, I think, well, you know, I'm quite partial to women's basketball overall. I just think it's a fantastic time of year in women's basketball, and there are so many great teams. And you know, I have to give a shout out to Felicia at Buffalo, because she was one of my assistant coaches back in the day, and she helped recruit the team that we went to the Final Four with at Michigan State. So to see Buffalo get here under Felicia's leadership has been a remarkable thing, and I've just been talking to her the whole time. And you know, here we are at the same regional. I was kind of hoping I'd bump into her, but I guess we got different schedules. You know, because South Carolina, you know, they recently have been so fabulous, and they won their title, and it's just amazing what they've done. And of course, you know, Connecticut's the best there's ever been. So it's an interesting regional, and I just think for a lot of reasons people would want to come on out and see the games and support women's basketball.
Thank you. Pete, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Coach, this might be a bit of a reach, but I know it's a different year and it's different players, but can you look at, say, tape from last year's Mississippi State UConn game and say, you know, with the talent we have, here's a couple of things that they did. We might be able to exploit these types of things?
Yeah, fair question. Tough answer for me because we can't create what they created. The full court pressure that they created is a very good thing and something that is pretty important, I think, if you're going to be successful against Connecticut. Just that sheer in your body pressure. The taller player, I'm forgetting her name right now, the center for Mississippi State, having that kind of height to be a presence around the rim. There's some really key qualities there. Vic is an amazing coach, and he's done incredible things if you look at his journey. I mean, to what happened, I mean, it's an incredible story, really. But I think that I couldn't look at that film and totally get a lot relative to things that we do. Some ideas, yes. You know, what's evident when you talk to anybody who's been successful against Connecticut ever, and it's a pretty small club, by the way. Talking to Tara or Vic, or, you know, it all goes back to possessions, turnovers, possessions, ball control, playing precisely. That's obviously a very important piece of it. And to their credit, they try to get you out of that, and they run and they do the things that they do. So, you know, it's great for women's basketball to have that level of excellence. It really is. I mean, it takes it to another level. I know the whole John Wooden thing and all the championships and all that, but I think it really makes people see what the game can be at the highest level. And I think for the rest of us, you're motivated by that to see how you can keep chipping away. I'm sure Vic in that first meeting never thought he'd beat Connecticut, right? I mean, I got to believe that that's what he was thinking at that time. And so my point being that it's really, really, you can't have the moments that we had last year, that incredible game. You can't have those kind of moments without a team being superior and dominant. And that's exactly what's happened. So, and of course, Connecticut continues to be, and they have been this year, and nobody's really done much of anything against them this year. I mean, that's what makes those moments possible. And I think fans get excited about that, and I think it's great for women's basketball. And for us, it's an ultimate challenge for us. We've got to really come together with a special team game.
And
for sure.
one more, Pete?
Back here, Joanne. Pete Doherty, Albany Times-Union. This is 25 straight years for UConn in the regionals. How impressive is that, and is it good or bad for women's basketball that they're so dominant?
Well, that's incredibly impressive. Not really surprising, but very, very impressive just because their success has been so extraordinary. I think it's excellent for women's basketball. I think the only thing that we have a trouble with is that where we play, you know, the neutral court versus the home court versus the, you know, regional, because we've got to draw fans. And I think that eventually that would be the next step, you know what I mean, to our tournament is being more neutral where we play. But right now we've been trying to grow that, and that hasn't totally happened yet. But I think it's pretty extraordinary what they've done. Again, I'm not surprised. I've seen Connecticut through the years. I mean, even when I was at Maine, we played the team that made that first run. I thought we did well in that game, by the way, FYI, for the record, way back in that Maine day. And I also was part of that. I saw the beginning of Connecticut when I was at Auburn. Auburn, years ago, Auburn came up to play, and that was before Connecticut was really hitting the scene, and we lost that game, and it was a very big game. It was prior to all the big stuff that Connecticut did. So I've kind of seen this. I've been able to witness this whole thing. And it's remarkable. And again, there's no question it's great for women's basketball. That would be a very odd belief system. You know, the better you are, the better things are, the more challenge there is, the more competition, the more you're trying to aspire to the higher level. Yeah, that's better. That's generally better in life. And it's something you welcome. I mean, it's just something you welcome is to get that opportunity to play against that kind of team. So I think, I guess I answered your question. Yes, pretty impressive, and I'm sure, you know, they'll do many impressive things in the future.
Coach, thank you for being here.
Oh, wait a minute. What about Mel?
Mel-
Mel's got to say something.
Fire away, Mel, of course.
I've known him for years. He's got to ask one question.
I was just telling somebody, I was there when you showed up at Auburn to do your interview at a dinner when they were in the Final Four.
That's right. That's right. Oh, God, Mel. We're getting old, man. I'm sorry. We're getting so old.
Tell me about it. You just talked about the neutral court, the home court. Do you favor what Debbie and Ellie's been pushing about play a whole Sweet 16 out in Las Vegas?
Well, I don't know. I mean, gosh, I'm not a Vegas girl. I don't know much about Vegas. But I will say that, you know, it's hard because when you can get the amount of fans that will be here tomorrow, you know, how do you walk away from that? That's a really, really good thing. But ultimately, you'd want to be on neutral something. I mean, I don't know if it's Vegas. I don't know if it's Tampa. I don't know what it is. But I think ultimately you'd like to do that because that's where the equal opportunity comes in. The excellence is the excellence, and there's no argument to the excellence. But that's where it gets a little bit tough is you know, the environment. I don't know when women's basketball is ready to move to that. There's been a lot of discussions about that. Perhaps we will. And I think that would probably make the ultimate tournament to have that kind of setting. If we could draw the fans, get the support, and forward women's basketball from that. So.
Thank you, Coach, for being here. Good luck to you tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're joined now by the student athletes from Duke University. This is also the time that the Duke locker room is open. So for those who are interested in speaking to student athletes who are not with us on the dais, this is the time to do so. Joining us are Lexi Brown, Rebecca Greenwell, and Faith Suggs. And as a reminder for you ladies, if you would please just be sure you speak into the microphone so that not only the folks in the audience can see, but those who are watching online. Congratulations on advancing to Albany. And at this time, we'll begin with any questions if we have them from the media. Over here on the right, Pete.
Hi, Pete Doherty, Albany Times-Union. Question for Rebecca. You're pretty well known around here for a shot you made 3 years ago against the University of Albany in the first round NCAA game. I just wondered what you remember about that shot and how much you remember about that game.
Yeah, I remember that game pretty clearly. My freshman year, we played a tough Albany team. We battled with them all game long. I got lucky towards the end and hit a three-pointer to, I think, put us up 1, and we ended up getting the game. But that was such a fun environment to play in, especially as a freshman. So if something were to happen like that tomorrow, I'd be all about it. But I'm just looking forward to tomorrow. We have a tough game coming up, so we just have to be focused and ready to give it our all.
Thank you. Faith, for you, obviously the toughest opponent you can come up with tomorrow. What's the mindset going into the game on Saturday?
It's just another game, another day to get better for our team. I'm really excited, along with Coach P and our teammates, to get this challenge and hopefully make a good outcome. But each day is really about getting better with our team and hopefully playing 6 games.
Thank you. Any questions from the media? Lexi, for you, obviously defense is a key for you. What do you do individually but also collectively as a team to try to slow down your opponent tomorrow in particular, but in general also?
One of the main things we have to do is just carry out our game plan. I mean, every team is different. You got to defend different players differently, so we just have to lock in, do what we practice all week. Specifically for tomorrow, just no personnel, no tendencies, a lot of ball pressure. Just try to get them out of their rhythm offensively. Their offense is so fluid, so if any way that we can interrupt that would be helpful for us.
Thank you. Up here to the right.
Rich Capola, Fox Sports in Hartford. For Rebecca and Lexi, I asked Crystal Dangerfield about, do you look at it as a challenge playing against, a backcourt tandem, a tremendous experience that you have and talent? And she said, without question. What do you guys think that you have to try and take away from them? You can't take away everything, but if you need to take away one thing, is there something in your minds that maybe more so than something else?
Rebecca, do you want to start?
Sure. They have a lot of weapons, obviously. We just have to have more possessions than them. I think that's going to be key. Also, just defensively, getting stops. It's going to be hard to focus on just one player, so I think it's going to have to be a team effort defensively. We have to have great ball pressure, try to get some deflections, and just really be able to control the tempo out there.
And Lexi, anything to add?
I think another important part for tomorrow is to stop their transition game, and that's going to rely solely on how we take care of the ball. I know that they're a really solid defensive team, and they kind of just sometimes tend to wait for another team to kind of give them the ball. So if we can limit our turnovers or live ball turnovers to be more specific, then I think that will, shut down a large part of their offense.
Faith, your team has depth, 10 players with 10 minutes or more on average per game, though you've been bitten by the injury bug a little bit. How important is the depth against a team like Connecticut?
I think it's very important. You never know what's going to happen in the game, and to have bench players who can come off and give energy and provide defense and rebounding is really key to winning a game.
Thank you. Pete, in the back to the right.
For Rebecca or Lexi, you're going to face a player tomorrow, Nazare, that you've obviously know quite a bit about. Will that be a little bit strange, and will you maybe make an attempt to talk to her after the game or anything like that?
Rebecca?
I'll definitely attempt to talk to her after the game. I don't have any bad blood with Nazare. She's a great person, a great player. We know her game really well, so I think that'll play into our favor a little bit. We know her tendencies, but we don't have bad blood. So I'm excited about the opportunity to play her.
Lexi, how about you?
Yeah, like Becca said, there's no bad blood. I didn't play with her at all, so there's nothing really to feel any type of way about. She's been having an amazing season. It's been really nice to see her, thriving in her new environment, and it's going to be a lot of fun playing against her tomorrow.
Any other questions? Ladies, thank you very much for joining us. Good luck tomorrow.
Thanks.